I just want to share with you some of my own thoughts about this notion of beyond energy efficiency, and thinking about climate resilience. And in brief, it's climate resilience means different things to different people, and we can get into a whole debate about what does it really mean, and do we really want to use that word and all that. But to me, it's another tool for us to have a conversation with new stakeholders about building high road economies, an economy that values our environment, a strong economy, and equity. That's what resilience means to me. It is the Emerald City's mission, but more broadly embraced beyond energy efficiency, because what it really says is that resilience means that we have to fundamentally change how America works, how our cities work. We have to first and foremost place the environment as a centerpiece of our decision making, because to ignore it or to dominate it as we have in the past means that there will be climate consequences. So we have to make sure that we're looking at our world now as an ecosystem. Climate change also means that we need to change every aspect of our physical infrastructure. All right, it's not just to make it sturdier, but how do we make sure that our power and our water and our food and our communication systems are agile enough to flexible enough and useful enough to not only help prevent and mitigate climate change, but also to adapt. It was interesting. I think there was a conversation we had with folks that were in both Sandy and Katrina that told us that after the extreme weather circumstances happened, what was the first thing they tried to do? Call home. You know, and how it was the first time I really recognized how the communication infrastructure is really critical to folks being able to adapt to extreme weather conditions. So what does all that mean to us so that we can withstand? They're saying not 3 days of food without food, water, and power, but we're now up to how do we withstand 45 days without food, water, and power? And how do we change our infrastructure, our physical infrastructure, to deal with that new kind of reality? Climate resilience means that we need to change how our economy works, right? We need new models of economic development and growth that reasserts local ownership, local control, as opposed to an economy dependent on imports, an economy that is self-reliant, an economy that sustains itself under drought, hazardous conditions, and floods, an economy that provides for families so that they can either live above or get to high ground whenever it's needed, an economy that really ensures that local businesses will stay open to provide for the communities under extreme weather circumstances. And finally, we need climate resilience requires a new, sturdier, high-functioning civic infrastructure, one that encourages mutual aid and support versus individualism, a new American ethic, right? It's not about individuals, but what we started with is how we come together and also live more on less. A civic infrastructure with equity and social justice as a core principle of how we rebuild our cities, a central part of its planning and its investment strategies. A civic infrastructure where community institutions function as critical actors in providing safe havens. Civic society that values the most vulnerable, not only caring for them, but engaging them in the planning and development process. So anyway, conversations about climate resilience is a conversation about Emerald Cities. It's a conversation about our vision, our aspirations. It's a conversation about our strategies. We need your help to figure this out, to really broaden our lens, and to really engage in a comprehensive approach to what resilience should be in America. We have all sectors of the economy represented here. We have the best thinkers and practitioners right here in this room, and we want to begin a conversation that will be at least a year-long dialogue to help Emerald Cities be all that it can be.